Melihan kaptırıyor topu. Ali Tanrıoğlu çok süratli. Ali orta yapacak. Sert orta. Sert orta.
Welcome everyone to a rather lovely Denizli. I've arrived a little bit early because quite frankly the weather's going to be nothing like this for our game. Yes, we are here of course for the Turkish Cup quarter-final second leg, but before we crack on with that we do have a couple of games to catch up on, including the first leg of this tie. So without further ado, let's hop into Football Manager 21 and crack on with today's episode. Okay, so the first game, of course, was the first leg against Denizlispor, and it went rather well. Gökhan Demir getting us off to a cracking start. Then Emrehan, of all people, got his first goal of the season. What a cracker in the bottom left-hand side. Sinan then, not to be left out, smashed in a free kick. Yes, I left Sinan in the team. It was an accident, to be honest. I left him in, didn't mean to leave him in, and then he went and showed us why I should have definitely left him in. So he stayed in the team. That allowed Thiago to have a bit of a rest. And he got a cracking goal and a 7.8 rating to go with it. Alongside that, of course, Gökhan also getting a goal and a 7.8 rating. Not to be outshone though, Emrehan 7.9. Beautiful performance and that goal. Other star performers, Miranda, 7.9 for him, 7.6 for Kubile, 7.4 for Zubzuk, and some other players had decent performances. So Lassen got a 6.7, can't complain with that, same with Blackett. Mehmet, 6.9, again, a little bit, just slightly out of that green zone. 6.8 for Aaron on the left hand side and 6.9 for Carranza. In terms of substitutes, Musin got a 6.7. We had Volkan, he got a solid 7 rating, which is nice to see. I think I brought him on to just rest Emrehan towards the end of the game. Halit came on, got 6.7 and a 6.7 for Anal, so no one was really disappointing in this game. In terms of the match statistics, well, we had 13 shots to their 2, 5 on target to their 0. Yes, 0 shots on target in their first leg. So I'm feeling rather confident about today's game. We then have a 1.13 XG to a 0.19, 4 corners to 1, 11 fouls to 14, 1 yellow card to 2 yellow cards, 92% passing to 81, 66% possession to 34. But how did we get on in the second game as we headed back into the league to verse Sivasspor? Okay, so the Sivasspor game was a rather interesting one. It started off very well as Aaron went and got his 10th goal of the season, slotting it in the bottom left-hand corner. We then went and doubled up. Yes, we doubled up through Carranza of all people. I shall see Emrehan poke one through. Carranza smashes it into the bottom right. But then our team started to get a little lackadaisical. Yes, they was a bit tired. We've got a very congested fixture list. Not really the excuse, but we're going with it. And we gave up a couple of goals. So first of all, Metehan went and smashed one past Zubzuk. We then had a ball through to Metehan yet again. Lassen and Miranda were both very tired at this stage. Through ball, couldn't catch up to him. Made it 2. Rather disappointing in the end, considering we started off 2-0 up. And yes, we did F it up. So that's how that game went. As you can see, Zubzuk, very disappointing. 6.6 in goal. The rest of the team, those are pretty nice numbers. I think they're a bit on the optimistic side, considering we did concede 2 goals after being 2-0 up. But yeah, for the most part, that was good. Until they start getting tired, which we have had a very congested fixture list. We have been playing weekend, midweek for probably, I don't know, month 2 in a row. So yeah, apart from the odd international break. But a lot of these players are international players, so they've actually not stopped playing for literally months. But enough making excuses for our team's lackadaisical efforts against Sivasspor. We was lucky. Galatasaray did not utilise that. Galatasaray slipped up in their game, I believe. I can't remember if they drew or they lost 2-1, I want to say. But don't quote me on that. They definitely slipped up, which I was thankful to see. But yes. In terms of these ratings though, let's go through them. We had a backline of Blackett, Kubile, Miranda and Lassen getting a 7, 7.3, 7.1 and 7.1. In central midfield, Mehmet and Emrehan got 7 and a 7.5. Our attacking mid of Aaron, Sinan and Gerkan got 7.77 and 7.1 respectively, with Carranza getting a 7.5 up front. In terms of the substitutes, well, that's where our main issue was. Omit, we gave him an opportunity, he only got a 6.6. Volkan this time was rather disappointing, getting a 6.5. Halit again, 6.5, rather disappointing. Paprika did okay with a 6.7, but it's quite the drop considering you're going from 7.7 to a 6.7 over on this left-hand side. In terms of the match statistics, well, we had 16 shots to their 11, 6 on target to their 5. They was a bit more clinical than we were. 1.53 XG to their 1.37, 6 corners apiece, 5, don't know where I got 5 from, 10 fouls to 11, 0 yellow cards to 2 yellow cards, 91% passing though. Both of these games we've actually managed to break that 90 threshold we like to do. 88 for them, they had a solid passing performance. 55% possession to 45. They are basically like a budget us. They can pass it, they just didn't manage to utilise it as much as they probably would have liked. So yes, that is how our second game went. It is of course time to go talk to Mr. Jason Dodds though. So without further ado, let's head on over to the tactical meeting screen. We'll see you fine folks in just a second. Okay, so we are here in Jason Dodds land, and as you can see, he's got a few opposition instructions for us, and the eagle-eyed of you will have noticed he wants to make quite a lot of changes to the team. That is because I'm being a little risky. We're giving a bunch of the youngsters some game time. You'll see it on the following screen in just a second, but first of all we need to click the opposition instructions, and as per usual they're expecting a 4-4-2. Again, I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to probably go for a 4-2-3-1, as most teams tend to try and copy us. In terms of the pitch, well, it's a very good pitch here today. We've got 7,017 tickets sold of a capacity of 18,745. Wet weather, like I said, the weather isn't going to be great for today's game. Wet weather, 8 degrees Celsius, and it's a little bit breezy. So hopefully the youngsters can manage in the bad weather. In terms of the team though, as you can see, we've kept Zubzuk in goal. We're rather disappointed in his performance against Sivasspor, but I think he can bounce back. In terms of the backline though, we have the youngster Umit alongside Ahmet, Gordinho and Musin. It's basically the backups. In central midfield, we have Shirok as our main man for expertise. He's going to be giving that to the youngsters surrounding him in Volkan, Tiago, Youssef, Halit and Anal up front. In terms of our bench, we have Ataberk, Lassen, Miranda, Kuble, Mailman, Emrihan, Gerkan, Eren, Mehmet, and the final one, of course, is Carranza, the star striker we signed, and to be fair, he's been picking it up. I give him a lot of slack. I tend to bully him. We'll put it that way. 13 goals though in 31 games. He's not been too bad. I am rather harsh on the man, but he's decent. In fact, what was that in terms of his young? 3 goals for under 20s for Argentina in 4 games. He's not a bad striker. We just need to give him time. Give him time to develop. He's getting better as the season's gone on. I think next season is his season. So hopefully he can build on this season. But enough rambling. Let's get out of here. Let's head to the pitch. As you can see, a lot of people are going to be lacking match sharpness. That's because they haven't played in forever. In terms of tactics, well, the tactics have gone down very well, except for the usual complainant. And that is basically it. Let's just head out to the pitch. There's one little red mark here over on the opposition instructions, but you can handle it. You can deal with that issue. As for us, we don't have a whole lot to deal with. I don't see many threats in their team, quite frankly. Especially after that previous game, I don't feel threatened by them at all. The media have given you a lot of credit lately, so go and put on a web display. Exactly. That's the perfect mentality for our team to go and have. Enis Kilik, though, of Sports, you've left Blackett out. Why is that? Because we've played like 50 games in the space of like 5 weeks. No. He's just been resting. It's nothing more than that. Quite simple. As you prepare to face Denizlispor, are you happy with Musin Yıldırım's performance as a wingback? Yeah. He's a decent backup. As you can see, he's had 4 starts, 13 as a substitute, and he's got 6.78. He's a decent backup. He's never going to be our starter, but he's never going to be a bad player either. He's playing there at the moment, it'd be silly to change it. Yeah, he'll carry on doing his thing. I'm not the sort of manager to try and fix what isn't broken. Exactly. In before he breaks a leg now. Now I said he's not broken. He's probably going to go break a leg. But as you can see, Galatasaray is also in action today against Gaziantep. I do believe it was 0-0 in their first, I think. I want to say it was 0-0 in their first leg, which it'd be lovely if Gaziantep could get through. Because the only hurdle we'll probably have in our way then is Fenerbahce on our way to a Turkish Cup. And could you imagine that? Turkish Cup for the lovely Bursaspor. Especially in a season where we've got to the knockout rounds of Europe and we are still title chasing. Right now though, we have just gone and given them an early goal back 25 minutes into today's game. So we are going to drop back to balance. We are going to go full scumbag, quite frankly. We're going to try and just burn the clock out, you know? We're giving the youngsters a run out, but we don't want the youngsters to have the opportunity to ruin this. So, Musin coming down the right-hand side. Can he deliver in a cross? He whips one in. Anal can't get onto the end of it. Shirok will collect it though. Plays it up to Thiago. Thiago, lovely football. Youssef holds it up on the edge of the area. Nice ball over to Halit. Musin's made a run through. Anal's found him and it's a lovely finish from the right-hand sided wing-back. Yes, the wing-back Musin has just drilled one in the upper corner. And, well, the media asked, is he doing a good job at right back? I think he's doing a pretty darn good job considering he's just going to go on the score sheet. Look at that beautiful run. Makes use of the fact that Segal has a bit of a knock and uses it to his advantage to get past him. So, Steven Segal has gone and got one on the 26th, but Musin has gone and got one back on the 27th. Halit now with a free kick though, whips it in. It's nodded away. Recap on the counter-attack. Can he get past Musin? He plays it up to Varela. Varela gets past Gordinho. In fact, he's gone out wide. Gordinho has the opportunity to recoup this. He's going to play it all the way back to Segal though. Segal plays it over to Bacalaras. Not even going to attempt now. I'm butchering it. Butchering it as much as I usually butcher stuff. But Ahmet can't get tackle in on recap. Mehmet whips one in for Steven Segal. Luckily, Zubzuk is there to poke it over the bar, and they have a corner. And yes, I know his first name probably isn't Steven, but I'm going to call him Steven Segal, because why not? When you have the opportunity to refer to someone as Steven Segal, you call them Steven Segal. Now, Thiago coming down the left-hand side does not play it, because we don't have the highlights. So, what is this? Right, Angelo Segal. So it's not Steven Segal, but he is Steven Segal. He's Steven Segal to us. He's not Angelo. Has already scored once. He's specific mark, choose type marking, punish us again. Yeah, just do it. Jason, sort it. I don't want to sort it. You sort it. If you think it's that much of an issue, Jason, fix it. Just go be Bob the Builder for us. Anyways. It is, of course, half-time, and we've been quite disappointing. We've only had one shot to their 3. One on target to their 3. 0.1 free XG to a 0.6. Glad we're not sat there in the stands. Sitting there, in the rain, very breezy, terrible weather to be sat in a stand, getting cold, and then you have this performance. 4 shots in total for the first half. It's not the sort of game you want to be sat watching, is it? But they've had 5 corners to our 2, 7 fouls apiece, 0 yellow cards apiece, 84% passing for them to our 87, 38% possession to our 62. And that was a nice period. There was a 2-minute period in there where we got a couple of goals, but for the rest of the half, rather dull. So, I'm very happy with the things are going. No, I'm not. The media have given you a lot of credit lately. We're going to say the media is saying you're amazing, so pat yourselves on the back and now pick up your game a little bit because this is rather disappointing to watch. We're going to give them a little bit more time. Not too much, but a little bit. This is about the time I want to take off the players struggling. Halit, he's dropped a little bit more. I was keeping an eye on that. He was on a 6.5. He's now on a 6.4. Same with Youssef. He's down to a 6.3 and Umit. Those 3 are definitely going off at this moment in time. It's a shame to see the youngsters struggling so much, but it's nice to see Thiago's actually managing to do something. 6.7 here today. Gerkan can come on. Aaron can come on. No, come on, Aaron. Behave, Aaron. And Umit, of course, can go off for the mailman. Now, is the a fourth substitute, which would be nice to make? I guess Volkan on a 6.4 is not having the greatest of games. So, Volkan, you are going to head off, my friend. We'll hold on to the last substitute. We're not in any rush to use up our fifth and final sub, so we'll just hold on to it, make those substitutes. We, of course, do have a 3-goal lead on aggregate, so we should be fine. We should be fine. Nice to get off the struggling players, though. Zubzuk makes a lovely dive. Doesn't have to get onto it, though, as the ball goes sailing over the bar. Gordinho, 1 yellow card away from a suspension. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. He's our backup. He can get suspended. If he wants to get suspended, go get a yellow card right now, Gordinho. I really don't care, because you're going to be sat on the bench, so it's not really too much of a hassle for him to get a suspension. Get it now, get it out of the way, you know. But Shirok is a little bit tired, but it's the end of the game. Does not matter. We have drawn this 1-1. Not the best of results, but we can't complain too much. 4-1 in the end on aggregates. Now, match statistics, we actually managed to even up in the end. 9 shots apiece, 5 on target apiece. Their XG was a little bit better though. They had a 1.07 to our 0.85. 6 corners to their 5, 12 fouls to their 15, 0 yellow cards to 0 yellow cards. 88% passing to their 86, 59% possession to their 41. And, well, as you can see, no players really had a terrible game except for maybe Aaron and the guys we substituted off. So, Zubzuk, 6.9 in goal, backline. Oh, Mailman had a bad game as well, 6.6. I somehow managed to miss that. Ahmet with a 6.7, it's decent. Gordinho, 6.9, also decent. Musin had a great performance getting that goal and a 7.1 rating at right back. Our central midfield of Shirok and Emrihan did a decent job with a 7.3 and 6.9. In attacking mid, again, like I said, Aaron struggled on a 6.6, but Thiago on a 6.9 and Gerkan on a 6.9 did well as well. Anal with a 7.2, having a great game up front, but the main ones letting us down, of course, were Umit, Volkan, Halit, and Papika, otherwise known as Papa Smurf. 6.2, 6.4, 6.4, and 6.3 are rather disappointing, and we don't want to be seeing that. As you can see, Shirok got the best performer with a 7.3 rating in today's game. So, I'm happy with the result and the way you played. Not really, but we'll tell them that. We'll tell them that, give them a bit of optimism. They're youngsters, they need a little bit more optimism in their life. Edik Koskun of Milliet. Okay, that's a new one. New name and a new media. So, Musin Yildirim doesn't find the back of the net often, but managed to today. How pleased were you to see that? I was rather pleased. It's even changed my voice. So, he has been working hard to improve on that part of his game, so it's great to see it pay off. I don't think he has, but I'll tell the media that. He's just been going into his backyard, practicing his shooting. As you can see, there's been rather quite the dominance between Galatasaray, Fenerbahce and the odd Trabzonspor in there for the past few seasons in the Cup, so it would be nice to get our name on it. So, Bursaspor have received 40 grand and an additional 81. I, of course, have this post-match interview to deal with, and I'll also be playing the Casting Pass game before the next episode. But we are definitely going to come back as we head to Paris in the next episode to verse Paris Saint-Germain. So, I thank you all for joining us in today's episode. I hope you all have a lovely night, and goodbye.